Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Okay, here we go. All right, folks, this is my new place, by the way. It is barren because my shit gets here tomorrow. My wife and son just took off. Actually, let me go close this now. All right, let me close this. You turn the light. Hmm? Oh, okay. His stomach, oh, then leave him here. He'll be all right. I don't have anything to do here, but oh well. Okay, so yeah, for those of you who don't know, Gman does have my personal number, and I have his number. And so he called me when I was trying to finish like closing out my other apartment, and he was upset. And one of the people in this hangout right now was the target of his ire, which, of course, that being Steve.
That'd be me.
Steve,
That'd be me. I'm the ire target. I'm
yes.
the target of ire.
I had to bring my lawn chair because I want to go fishing. And so Steve, he didn't like the fact that you invited him into, you know, a lion's den of sorts.
Whoa, 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 whoa. When did I invite him in anything?
The I don't know. I don't remember how you got in. You remember the hangout with PZ?
Oh, that thing. Did I invite? I guess we invited him. Sure. Yeah, I guess we invited him. But I mean, it's just a show, right? I mean, it's just an invite to anybody.
Well,
it wasn't like I was like giving him special, dispensation.
Well, no, it was the fact that you invited him and he was insulted inadvertently because he had said something that was insult worthy. But he felt that PZ Myers, or as I like to call him, PZ/Landon, he felt insulted.
That's his new nickname, yes.
Yeah, it's either one. It doesn't matter. The funny thing, folks, the funny thing is, G-Man called me to talk to me about this before he made these videos, right? I knew about them, but I warned him. I was like, okay, the person you're talking about sounds familiar. I think you're talking about Landon Kirk Knoll, because one of the first things he said was, well, that guy, PZ Myers just thinks he's so smart because he got the world record at math thingy. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean PZ Myers got what are you talking about? One thing, biologists being good at math, that's scary. That really doesn't happen. So that
PZ has told me he understands how he got confused. They both have the same amount of chromosomes, so that's how G-Man got confused.
Yeah,
he said that was pretty much probably how it happened. He's his long lost twin brother. They have the same amount of chromosomes, and so he understands the mix up.
Happens all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, folks, I told G-Man that they were two different people. Okay, hold on. I got to mute my mic. This Comcast guy calling me back.
So, Steve, you're saying all us Homo sapiens look alike?
Yeah, I guess because we're obviously all related, we just kind of use each other's names interchangeably. Which, by the way, he couldn't get PZ's name correctly. You can call him PZ. You can call him PZ. He's okay with that. But his name is not Meyer. It's Myers. I don't know how he messed it up so many times. So not only did he get him confused with Landon, he didn't even know what his last name was. It's like he knows nothing about this guy whatsoever and thinks that he refuted him when he doesn't understand what PZ was saying. PZ was, anybody else has told him, chromosomal number makes no difference. It's not the argument. People are not arguing, oh, wait, we have this particular number. They have this particular number. We have diploid 46 and the others have 48 and whatever. It makes no difference. It's the human chromosome fusion site that has been, some that people have talked about. That's what Dr. Miller was talking about in that clip that G-Man had shown. And he doesn't understand the difference. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what a chromosomal number even is. Or why would it make a difference to evolution what chromosome number we have? I mean, there's fusion events, that number can get reduced. So what? We have that Chinese guy that has 2n44, right? Or that family that in Finland that has 44 chromosomes. So what does that matter? Sam points out the arguments about homology has nothing about chromosome number. So when G-Man put out this video about, oh, look, they're showing the chromosomal number. So what? That's not the argument being presented by anybody, by Miller or anybody else. So PZ was spot on with that.
Interesting because they're really into kinds as a description, but it's a really dangerous territory. It's meretricious because I don't know if you knew this. I believe that rabbits and hares, they look very similar, but their diploid number is different by 8, I believe. So they have 4 chromosomes. They differ by 4 chromosomes. So it's really it's really interesting, this whole notion. And I think for example, there are humans. There's a species of rice, and there are certain types of fish whose genomes are far larger than ours. Correct?
Well, zebrafish have 50. I remember that. And what's funny is as Sam pointed out, that Gman had thought that we had 43 and 45, an odd number, which I thought was kind of strange. You know, how did Gman get to a 43 or 45 for our chromosome when we're 46? I don't know how that worked. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that more chromosomes than we do. Some have less. Who cares? It makes no difference as long as it's about the genetic information and the homology. It has nothing to do with the chromosomal number. I'm a complete idiot and layperson, and I at least know that.
Right. I brought it up because I think whenever you speak to these people, you had that guest on, or no, he was Jade was speaking to that guest. They try to conflate genetic information with complexity and creation, etc. And the point I'm trying to make is it's specious, it's fallacious to do that, because really there's no correlation, right, between genome size. I mean, there's generally trends, but you can't make arguments based on this amorphous notion of what is it? Specified complexity. No, what is that? What is that term?
Specific specified complexity. Is that what it is? I don't remember.
You know, that guy who wrote Origin of Kinds, he was saying that, oh yeah, that's right, there are no beneficial mutations that confer in complexity or intelligence. I forget. Do you remember what his argument was?
No, I mean, I don't think that guy even. I don't think he argued there was no beneficial mutations, but maybe there's no beneficial mutations that added complexity to the genome. Was that his argument?
That's what I'm asking you. I think that's.
I don't remember. Jade would know. She actually read the book. Yeah, I am down south pointed out. I think Gman in his latest video today, I stopped watching it about 3/4 of the way through, but he said, I don't care if we have a negative amount of chromosomes. How does that work, Gman? Gman thinks we could have a negative amount of chromosomes, that we are diploid 43 or 45, both of which are wrong, and then thinks he refutes PZ Myers, who has a PhD in this topic. The amount of Dunning-Kruger is beyond what I mean. It's just mind-boggling that this guy is that arrogant to think that he's on a level to even discuss any of this stuff. I'm just flabbergasted. That's just fundamentally wrong on so many different levels. How do you have a negative chromosomal count? Anyone? I don't know what that would mean.
I recall that discussion. PZ was very patient and kind with him. And I was trying to tell Drag this. If G-Man had asked for a lesson on evolutionary biology from PZ, I'm sure he would have given it to him. And he really squandered a great opportunity that night.
Oh, yeah. And he probably would have up to recently. And PZ now is realizing this guy is just kind of in it for the show. He knows G-Man is a showman. He knows that G-Man doesn't know jack shit about this, and he doesn't want to waste his time with it. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So, but on a side note, I just saw a message on G Plus from Jade, and maybe I missed this in G-Man's rant this morning. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing, but supposedly G-Man has accused me of wanting to snipe his hangout. Is that something somebody's heard? Can I get validation for that? And when exactly did that happen? I have never advocated sniping for any hangout. I've never asked anybody to snipe a hangout. I've never actually sniped anybody myself, except in the conditions whereas in an external case where a sniper comes in and then you snipe them out. Obviously, then that's perfectly fine. But where have I ever advocated sniping for G-Man's hangouts or done so? I'm curious about that, because if G-Man wants to level these accusations, then he needs to pony up and provide evidence for them. I mean, he's always asking for people to provide evidence. Okay, G-Man, if that's the case, if you're going to accuse me that I've advocated for sniping of your hangouts, can you please tell me where and when I said this? And I'm still waiting for evidence of when I said you can believe in a God, a supernatural deity, and still be an atheist. I never said that either. Gman said he's making a video about that. Never has happened. Gman said he was going to make a video about what happens when DNA degrades or something dissolves in water, and that he says it degrades in a biologically relevant time frame. It just falls apart into its constituent parts. Okay, great. Where's that video, Gman? I mean, you keep on saying all these things, but you haven't provided a single shred of evidence for any of them. EO had to go. Dragnot left me alone. I feel so lonely. Could somebody come in? I got mods. I got mods. I got mods. By the way, I have mods. So message me. I'll give the internal link because I feel so alone and lonely. My man left me.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. It should be an easy setup, but there's all kind of stupid shit going on with their system now. So I don't. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
With Comcast?
Yeah. Trust me, I didn't choose this. It was like, oh, you can have Comcast or you can have Comcast.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway. So I've been talking to Gman. And
sorry for that you've had to do that.
I put him on speakerphone so my wife could hear us. And there was one line that I kept repeating over and over and over again. And this was over the course of probably since Tuesday. Is that G-Man, you don't listen. G-Man, you don't listen. In the midst of me telling him that he doesn't listen, he's over talking me so he can tell me how much he listens. Like, just let that flow through your cranium for a second. If you're talking, you're probably not listening. I'm pretty sure some of us have heard that growing up. I don't know, in grade school, at some point, I don't know, but I don't pretend to know his backstory. But I remember hearing that if you're talking, you're not listening. So he's listening, he's understanding, he got it. And so he comes up with this brilliant idea to make a video addressing the events that transpired in your room, Steve, with PZ Landon Knoll, mathematician, biologist extraordinaire guy. And he says, well, the evidence is already there that atheists are using chromosomes to prove evolution. So I said, what do you mean they're using chromosomes? Are you talking about similarities in genes in the chromosomes? Like, no, you'll see when you watch the video. Like, G-Man, what specifically are you talking about? Because just saying like invoking chromosomes without any type of nuance, that doesn't mean anything. And I guess to him, it's a game of semantics. So I'm not even making this shit up. It's in my Skype right now. He thinks that him like combining Landon Kirk Knoll and fucking PZ Myers together is a game of semantics. Explain that fuck. I don't.
So it's PZ Knoll now.
PZ Knoll, yeah, PZ Knoll. So okay. Like correcting him on the shit that he gets wrong is a game of semantics. And so because we're not addressing the meat and potatoes, whenever you get that from, of the issues that he's talking about. So I said, okay. I said, G-Man, I don't think you actually understand arguments that people are making. Like I just flat out fucking said that because G-Man typically doesn't get the arguments that people are making. I mean, it's par for the fucking course. And so he directs me to, rather than explicitly stating what people have said, he directs me to the video that he's going to make in the future. This is the other day. And so now when I'm asking him to be very explicit with what he's claiming, and the three accounts of, people are specifically, hold on, let me make sure I get this right, PZ Myers being dishonest. And he just said, if you're going to lie, I'm not going to watch. I wasn't mad. You were mad, G-Man. So you were fucking mad. Like you were mad. There were three accounts. Okay.
Well, hang on one sec. I see. I believe you because I believe you because you're my friend and that he was mad. But there's a difference between me believing you because I have faith in you because I built up a rapport with you. G-Man is now saying that several atheists have went to him saying that I had planned to snipe his hangout. I can guarantee it has never happened.
I think G-Man's lying about that.
I think it's outright lying about that. Absolutely lying.
Except with one
exception, there might have been one person by the name of Walter Williamson.
Fuck is that?
Remember that guy that was trolling, that atheist that was trolling?
Oh, yeah.
Who was going on lying, saying that I was going to go over and snipe people and other shit. Other than him, nobody's ever said anything like that to G-Man. I guarantee it. He's lying through his teeth. I have never advocated sniping. And what's worse is that if he thought that was true, all he would have done is say, hey, Steve, I've heard this, and let me ask you about it. That's what a rational person would do, but we all know Gman isn't rational, right?
He doesn't do that. And I've
He
told
doesn't
him
do
that.
that.
But anytime he has an issue with somebody, I say, why don't you go talk to him? G-Man, why don't you go ask to do? Why don't you go talk to him? Oh, well, no. Like, why don't you pull this person aside and see if this is true? Because they can either lie to your face or confirm it right then and there before you go off on a tangent from secondhand information. Oh, no. And so he'll just give every excuse in the fucking world. I'm like, this is bitch shit. Like, this is high school stuff. I don't deal with that. Like, that's fucking stupid.
Well, that's the level he's at. Though. No, he's not even on high school level. He's not. He's just
this
grade
is fucking
school
middle.
shit.
Like this is middle school shit. Like, come on, dude. Just have some fucking respect for your fucking self. If you're going to engage in this and you're saying people are calling you liars, wouldn't that mean that you should at least feel compelled to make sure you have accurate information? Like that's if you have such a hard time trying to figure out why people are misrepresenting you and all this misinformation, you might want to get your shit straight first. But G-Man doesn't seem concerned with accuracy. Accuracy isn't really his thing. If he's in the ballpark, like, here's my phone. Okay, that made it almost into my wife's bag over there. So that's it's within a foot or two. So that means I made it in. Like, that's G-Man's, like, that's how he measures his ability to assess a situation or to engage a target. Like, if he was trying to be a marksman, if the target is right fucking here and he hits it down fucking here underneath it, that's hitting the target. Like, I have no concept of that, right? And so I guess that's kind of related to this weird the way that he assesses his own abilities. He assesses the ability of others. And I was talking to EO on the phone the other day, and we were trying to figure out this because EO is one of the other people I talked to on my personal phone that I should not have thrown over here. It's in a case, but it's really weird because G-Man was giving me an analogy where he what was it? It's something to do with LeBron James. Oh, okay. So he doesn't seem obliged to just acknowledge. That's the Comcast guy. You can talk more about the.
I'll monologue.
Thank you.
So G-Man had just said to on one of the posts that again, some atheists have told him that I wanted to snipe. Now, of course, he doesn't care to fact check that. Whatever, right? But everybody knows that I have never sniped a hangout. I don't advocate it. So G-Man has no prior precedent to even think that I would even do such a thing. And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't care about facts. He doesn't care about the reality of things. It makes no difference to him. It's whatever his better narrative is for his story on his channel, that we are a bunch of atheistic, evolutionary loving, Matt Dillahunty following, whatevers. Which, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of Matt Dillahunty. I like Matt Dillahunty. I think he does a great job, but I mean, I don't follow his every word. But you see in the live chat here, Uncle Sam says, through Thick Shade, says, I've learned about chromosomes when I was in the grade school in Korea drag. Yeah, did you learn that chromosomes can be negative? Because according to G-Man, that's how it works. I never learned that. I don't even know what a negative chromosome count would be. And anyways, BZ Miles has been commenting a little bit. He put on his blog, Ferengula. By the way, I can pronounce it correctly now, Ferengula, a little blurb about G-Man, and then he's just going to leave it alone after that. There's nothing else to really address. G-Man doesn't even understand what PZ was talking about. He doesn't even remotely understand it. And so why bother to really continue with it? It's just like, it's like somebody who doesn't know basic arithmetic trying to do tensor mathematics.
That's what EO and I were talking about. EO and I both were talking about today. Actually, hello, Mr. Martin, are you still there?
By the way, I'm gonna give Wolf the link.
Okay, there we go. Okay. EO and I were talking about this today. G-Man doesn't have a concept, like I said, he can't really appraise anyone's skill level or the actual difficulty of a task. He just kind of somewhat looks at it and then he just, okay, well, yeah, I can do that. Okay, yeah, I can learn that. It doesn't matter whether it's just reprogramming your microwave or something, or whether it is rekeying a lock set from like Quickset or Slage or something like that. Um, and it's actually pronounced Slage, excuse me. So he doesn't have that ability. So what he does is, like I said, he just kind of throws something out there, and so, well, I'll get close enough, and you'll get the gist of what I'm saying, even though I don't feel like I need to actually have any type of accuracy. Well, if your argument is there's a specific number of chromosomes here, and these people are saying there's going to be a change here, and this new number of specific number of chromosomes here, that's going to be the switch. You kind of need to know those two numbers in order to draw a comparison, right? So I think there's just on any topic, there's a certain level of knowledge you need to have about it before you talk about it. So if someone is here's a perfect example. If someone wants to talk about combat effectiveness in the military, they might need to know how big a fire team is. If they don't know how big a fire team is, I'm going to think that they're fucking stupid, because that's one of the basic principles of understanding how you are going to effectively engage a target, knowing how many fucking people are going to be involved in it, right? So I'm at a loss.
Yeah, well, there's a fundamental prerequisite for a lot of these conversations. Now, I think most of us in the Great Debate have some kind of rudimentary education, at least to the point where we know our limitations, but we know the basics, right? I mean, I know how many chromosomes humans have. I understand why it has to be an even number, right? It's an odd number. I understand that odd numbers can exist, and through, I think it's sympatric speciation, you can have even numbers due to whole genome duplication and stuff like that. But we're not bacteria. Right? That doesn't work for us, right? Meiosis is not going to happen with an odd count, right? I don't see how that works. But the point being is, if he doesn't even know that we're a 46 chromosomal count, diploid, how does he think he's going to go against PZ Myers, who has a PhD in this field? I don't understand that.
Here's what I did. I said, okay, well, Gman, you yourself have some concept of having a baseline level of information. Like you've spoken about it. As much as he mentions J.D. Kane, and when J.D. Kane said that the word Christian doesn't appear in the Bible, well, if J.D. Kane had a certain level of education in the Bible, he would have probably known that. So G-Man understands that when it comes to biblical stuff, but anything else, he doesn't feel the need to actually have that level of education. It's so weird that duality exists within him. Everything he can do is not applicable to that, or I don't know. Oh, Comcast guy again.
Hey, Wolf.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing this Friday? Doing good?
Awesome, my friend.
Okay, I have a question. Can someone explain to me like the syllogism behind G-Man taking Kent Hovind seriously after it's been shown that he has no real academic training beyond like junior college and most?
Yeah, I actually think I understand it. What I think happens is that because G-Man's only outlook on reality is through a mind frame of a WWF, right? He likes that whole Worldwide Wrestling Federation type thing. He thinks that when it comes to debate, it's all a show, right? And it is. He's right. It's all a show. And if Hovind puts on a better show and he takes on these people 30 years ago that didn't know his arguments, then he's a good debater, and he's a masterful person destroying evolutionary theory. But nowadays, we all know Kent's arguments. We have the internet. We can show that every one of his arguments is wrong. He loses every single debate except for one. Obviously, Nolan didn't do that great, but Casey has wrecked him. Bill Ludlow completely wrecked him. There's nothing new under the sun that he brings to the table. I mean, the only thing that Ken has had that's new lately is basically his Green Mile argument and his Castaway argument. That's it. I mean, he has nothing new. His slides have not changed in 30 years. And G-Man, again, is just looking at the show. He's not looking at the content. He understood nothing about what Bill said.
Yeah, his son's actually pretty worse. Like I heard he doesn't he didn't even go to college. He went to some I don't know. I think the diploma mill school.
He had 2 years of community college.
Has like that has some backpack class or something like that. It's
No, he had 2 years of community college. Kent did. I don't think he got his associates, but he did.
No. I'm not talking about Ken. I said his son is even worse, Eric.
Oh, he went to Liberty University, which is not even accredited at all. So he's got basically nothing but a biblical quote unquote education. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay, but but now Gman saying he's trying to go against PC Myers and humble him. I mean, I'm not, personally myself, I'm not much of a fan of PC Myers because of his political affiliations, but if he needs to be humbled, I doubt Gman is a person for the job. I think his checks his so-called brass balls can't cash.
Oh, I guess Liberty University is credited, according to Sam. I think they had some. Didn't they have some credited, some not credited? I don't know.
I don't really keep up with religious schools and their function.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm sure if it's just a liberal arts type thing. Sam says that, I guess Liberty University is accredited. Is that where Eric went? Liberty?
Shit, I don't think. I remember the school he went to. Fucking, it had a backpack class or something like that. It was hang on, let me look it up. But anyway, what is Gman going against PZ Myers specifically on? Is it evolution in general, or some specific area in evolutionary theory?
Well, in this particular case, it was some specific area. PZ was telling him that chromosomal count is not evidence for evolution. Doesn't mean anything. And he took clips out of context from, Ken Hovind for some strange reason, and also Ken Miller, saying, "Oh, look, they're talking about chromosomal count." Well, yeah, there's a reason for that. Miller was talking about the human chromosomal fusion site on HG2. That's what he's using as evidence for evolution or common ancestry, more specifically. And as Rational Mind put on his blog, he tried to show that it is indeed evidence for common ancestry, but it's not the chromosomal number; it's the fusion. So PZ was right.
So basically, he just misinterpreted the information he was, and then just tried to use out of context clips to his advantage.
Well, yeah, he did. I mean, he used Miller's clips out of context because all he saw was that he was talking about chromosomes.
Yeah, well, I really don't expect someone as inept as Gman to actually understand any of this stuff. By the way, I looked it up. Eric didn't go to Liberty University. He went to Jackson Hole Bible
College. That's what I was thinking. That's the one that's not accredited.
Yeah, that is unaccredited.
Yeah, that's the one that they have the like the 30 some odd axioms of belief or something like that.
Yeah, diploma in biblical foundations. It's not real colleges. It's just.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't Liberty College. It was Jackson Hole. That's why I was thinking that Eric didn't go to an accredited school, because Jackson Hole isn't accredited.
Half of these classes they're like 1 week only. Like, that's how quick they are.
Well, and they're just religiously oriented to the point where everything's looked at from the perspective of the religion rather than like science. I mean, how do you look at something objectively in science if you automatically assume that the age of the Earth is 7,000 years old? You just can't do it, because then you're forcing the science to say what you want it to say.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, it's not. I mean, they're not actually learning to be actual academics, right? They're learning to be hucksters, like how to basically market to stupid people.
Yeah, it's a con game. I have no doubt about that.
That's their bread and butter. That's their snake oil sales pitches.
Right. Well, like right now, I've been emailing for the last couple of days, Dr. Humphreys and Dr. Bergman, and Bergman's fine for coming on. He just needs to figure out how to work Google Hangouts, and I told him I'd get with him sometime later on today to show him how to do that. Humphreys, on the other hand, has been a little more skittish. He wants to know the dynamics of the the group, how we operate with each other. He wants to know the demographics. He wants to know the breakdown of young Earth to old Earth. If people have been, can be persuaded. It's just like, look, this is just people talking about these ideas. You have a theory on the Starlight problem that I know General Han Solo would like to talk to him about. Come discuss it. That way it can't be misconstrued because it's his argument, right? It's coming directly from him that he thinks he solved the Starlight problem. And polonium halos, he said he would discuss, and rates. And it's just like, okay, we have young Earth creationists that listen to us, and I think they get the arguments wrong a few times. At least this way, they can hear it directly from you of what the argument actually is, right? Now, is Gman live again? Yippee.
Yeah, he's live again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his goal is, except that he thinks this is going to drive traffic to his channel. He gets like 12 people watching. I'd say the vast majority of them, overwhelmingly so, disagree with him and know he doesn't have a fucking clue what PZ was even saying. So how did he think he owned him? And if you go read Ferengula, that was clearly obvious.
I don't know. See, I've invited him in here because he wanted to. One of the things he wanted to do was have a dialogue, back and forth on people's channels. But I'm like, well, okay, we can have a dialogue, but a part of that is, you listening, and that's kind of what he doesn't do. So I'm not sure how he wants to have a dialogue when it's just him talking the entire time and interrupting people.
Yeah, nobody runs from him. Nobody just wants to talk to him because there's no dialogue to be had. Nobody's scared of Gman, I assure you. No one.
I mean, he's not mad, but he's now making another fucking live video where I invited him. Like, and I told you he was fucking mad. Like, he was visibly, because I'm looking at him on fucking Skype, and I'm like, he's pissed the fuck off over some bullshit.
I think someone needs to tell him that, like, if he ties himself to his emotions like that, I mean, like, getting angry, that tends to lower the IQ. So, with G-Man's kind of cognitive faculties being as limited as they are, it's just going to diminish even further. Like, it's not going to go very
negative. He's going into negatives right now, but it's like I don't know what to tell him. Like, okay, so one of the analogies that he gave me, and I spoke to a few people about this, is that he can't really appraise, like I said earlier, he can't appraise his own skill and the skill of others. He doesn't recognize when people actually have accomplished stuff. Like, he can say, okay, well, yeah, this person has accomplished a doctorate level education. He can say that, but he doesn't actually know what that means. He doesn't know the rigors of what it takes to actually pull out a thesis that can, be scrutinized by experts in the fucking field and have your ideas, dashed upon rocks because you weren't clever enough to, really go over your own work and to think about it critically and go, you know what, are there any holes in what I'm trying to propose here? Like, I don't think he's actually ever gone through anything like that in his life. I would be hard pressed to believe that. I'm really hard.
No, he's never had any academics of any concern, of any real consequence.
But that's a side issue, right? But I think because he has not had those kind of challenges in his life, he feels as though he can just be on par with anybody. And the example that he gave me was that even, let's say, LeBron James, one of the fucking famous basketball player, LeBron James would break my fucking ankles. I'm gonna tell you right now. He, like, I know that I'm not going to beat this dude in the sport of basketball because he is more skilled than me, he is more athletic than me, and he just has more time in the fucking game. Like, there's just any factor that would allow someone to be successful, he has exceeded those standards. And so that's why my chances of winning would be slim to none. G-Man says, well, I would challenge him to one-on-one. Well, okay, cool. I could challenge him to one-on-one too and get my fucking ass smoked. Like, there's a huge gap between our skill levels and our abilities, and G-Man just doesn't see that.
But he's competitive to the point of being a fault. I mean, he's competitive, thinking that he could beat anything, anybody. He's willing to anything you want to be a challenge to him, he'll take up, right? Except for us, right? I challenged him to provide evidence for something, like me wanting to snipe him, or that me claiming that if you believe in a God, you can still be an atheist. I've asked for evidence. I've challenged him to provide evidence. You even said 3 or 4 times in the last week or two that G-Man's making a video, and he's finding all this evidence against me. I haven't seen any of it yet.
No, I mean,
I'm just gonna bring up like an analogy because well, not really an analogy, just something to contrast with, right? Like this mindset of the religious fundamentalist. I remember talking to Matthew Ecclesiastics in MK's room, right? Like he was talking about science, like
fucking brain trust in there.
yeah, I know.
Oh God.
Yeah, like fuck it. Anyway, so he was asking questions. I think about I don't know, evolution and stuff like that. He was bringing up Tiktaalik and stuff like that, and it's like I brought up. Not only did I give some references for him to like read from, but also I told him, like I asked him why is it that whenever we tell you to like go to a library and learn this shit or just read this or watch this if you really want to understand how the process works, they get pissy and act like, you know, it's offensive to give them some kind of basis to understand this stuff. I mean, it's
it's twofold though, Wolf.
An adverse effect against learning or something like that.
But it's twofold. One, again, I know this sounds disparaging, but Gman lacks the ability to learn things. He lacks the ability to understand the stuff. He has a limitation on his ability to look at something, read it, and go, okay, let me see if I understood this. Just like he doesn't listen to anybody in a conversation. So that precludes him from ever understanding this stuff. The second is he doesn't care. His channel is based upon the fact that he has this ridiculous understanding of macroevolution and ridiculous understanding of biology in general. I mean, he's on his channel right now having a hangout called Macroevolution is a Fairy Tale or some shit like that. He and Ken Hovind make well, he's not really a living, but he makes a channel on this fact that they're just completely ignorant.
G-Man's at his living talking about this stuff.
He's what?
No, I'm just saying he's at his work doing this.
Yeah, I mean, this is he has a lot of downtime. I mean, it's fine, but I wish some of the downtime would be him actually looking up the literature. I know he can't read the. I know some people would say do a full stop there, but I know he can't read like academic literature. So him, I guess, finding some book on a grade school level would definitely help. And then talk to people, you know, like PZ Myers to kind of edge out, you know, the rough aspects of it that he's kind of, you know, struggling with. I mean, that would be a legitimate way to kind of approach it. If he has questions, you know, kind of take it from there. But it's this thing where, and anybody can watch any G-Man video anytime he's upset about something. He gets fixated on it. It doesn't matter if he's gotten it right. He doesn't care. Accuracy is not his concern. He thinks something. Therefore, it's true in his mind that this is the case, whether someone said something, whether someone believes something, or whether someone is just hiding their true feelings, you know, true empiricism style, where they have this ulterior motive and they're just giving you all types of weird stuff to just mask their true intentions, right? It's one of those three. And so he will just go ass first into whatever situation he needs to help prove what he thinks is the case, rather than going, you know what, maybe I don't have this like 100% right. Maybe I should just slow down for a second, get out of my fucking feelings, and truly assess the situation. That thought does not run across G-Man's fucking head ever.
And that's
that's actually that's an interesting observation you make, Greg. I remember listening on the radio about this study. They were talking about how people try to reinforce beliefs by reading other things. It's weird. G-Man never really engages with the subject he's so eager to actually espouse about. He finds these little bits and try to poke holes in that, and really just like he doesn't understand it. It's like he's getting the information from somewhere else other than what he should be looking at, and he's trying to use that to reinforce his already established belief, and he'll do anything to maintain that. It's a weird behavior that certain individuals have, but it really speaks to the just to the lack of understanding that he expresses here. But not just him, with people like Ronnie too. You guys saw that call he made to the Atheist Experience?
Yeah.
I heard about it. I didn't actually listen to it. I heard it was painful for those who did listen to it.
Yeah, he was still
I don't know.
doing that ID bullshit, which is like it's been dead for years. I don't know why he still even makes the argument.
But here's
Well,
the
he
thing:
wants.
neither one of them read any kind of actual scientific stuff. None of them read even a book that, you know, just put to the masses, right? A general layperson science book. They don't read any of this stuff, right? Now, occasionally some of the CCP does. I remember back in the day, Tommy Hall would read something and then he screwed up rarely, but he used to come on with something going, well, you know, this is what this says, what I think it says, and of course, most people are like, well, no, that Tommy, that doesn't say what you think it is. But it was interesting, right? It was like, okay, you know what? We haven't seen this before. Maybe let's read into it. And let's get something out of it and let's have a dialogue on it. I found that to be a lot more entertaining than what Gman has to offer, because Gman never talks about the actual science. He just throws out this straw man version. Well, nobody's interested in explaining to him, again for the billionth time, why he's wrong. And who wants to argue against an effigy? Who wants to say, hey, I mean, I'm gonna show you that, you know, you don't understand evolution. Nobody wants to do that anymore. If he would say, look, I've got this book on evolution, and it says this, and he gets it all wrong, I would be much more entertained by going, okay, let's see how he screwed this up and talking about that. But he doesn't even do that. He is so far removed from reality that he's constructed this mental image in his head of evolutionary biology that's so unremotely related to what actual evolution teaches that people just don't care anymore. They're just like, gee, man, we don't give a shit. We don't want to watch anything you have to put out because you're just putting out fucking garbage.
Right. I just want to say, for G-Man's benefit, like, he just left off screen again. G-Man, you have bad work ethic, dude. Wait until you get home and then start recording the video. All right.
I don't care if he does it from work. I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, if he's allowed to, I don't want to see him get in trouble. That's for sure.
Supposedly his boss knows and doesn't care. So I was like, well, that's a good boss. I mean, all right.
Yeah. No, I mean, if he's cool with it, I mean, shit. I don't give a fuck what he does.
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's like bad video making. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't. Like I said, he doesn't really care about fine details. Like, if you notice that about him, fine details, accuracy, precision, those aren't words in his lexicon. I don't think those words exist for him or the concepts themselves. So, you know, I'm checking my garage because I keep hearing a car. Okay. Sorry, that was bothering me.
Well, Dragnot, did you see that little test I ran the other day on that one guy, part-time vegan? He was the one that did a little debate with Red's Rhetoric.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, well,
I was packing up my shit then. No.
I wanted to see if he could actually learn something. I don't think any one of us mind discussing something one-on-one or having a conversation with somebody to explain it if they're able to learn, right? If they're able to learn, that's different than somebody who just cannot learn. Then you're just wasting your breath. So I'd asked him, okay, so let me give you a mathematical thing, right? Something that's counterintuitive that we all know, that whole, you know, 1 equals 0.9 around repeating. That's not up for subjective evaluation. That's mathematics. It is a fundamental fact in maths, proven many different ways. You can use geometric progression, you can use calculus, you can use algebra, you can use simple fractions. There's so many different ways to prove that. Mm-hmm. He didn't think that it was true, right? Okay, I'll grant him that he didn't understand it. Fine, not a big deal. But when I asked him, do you want to be explained this by myself using mathematics of why this is a truism, why this is actually something that is true in math? He couldn't either understand it or didn't want it to be explained. At that point, I won't carry on a conversation with him anymore about any other things because I'd be wasting my breath. If you can't learn something as fundamental as math, what is a truism, right? 1 equals 1, 2 equals 1 plus 1. These things are not up for evaluation, right? They're facts. If he doesn't want to know something that is a completely mathematical fact, then you can go to Wolfram Alpha and type in what I told him to type in, and it says true. And he thinks he knows more than the most sophisticated computational program in the entire world. I'm done. And I'm going to have that little floor, right, my lower bound of people that I engage with, if I don't think they were even able or capable of learning anything.
Well, I think it's a weird. Actually, EO. Actually, you and I spoke about this a lot. EO, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, let me amplify what you're saying, and let me speak in general terms. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
So what I realized, Mike, and I'm not slamming anyone who hasn't gone to college, but what you learn after a while is you have to achieve a baseline level of mastery just to find out what you don't know. I'll give you an example. When I took calculus in college, I remember telling the math instructor who was asking me to become a math major, hey, math ends at differential equations, right? It was such a silly thing to say, but that was the extent of my foresight. I mean, I couldn't see beyond myself. And I want to amplify something that Hannah said in a Hangout with Mr. Intelligent Design. If you're going to be an autodidact, and they used to be really popular in the 19th century, it's much harder now to be an autodidact. The onus is on you to prove that you have the credentials. And I want to give a good example, and this is going to be controversial. I've seen Aaron Raw on panels talking to Richard Dawkins and Lawrence Krauss. I've seen Aaron Raw on panels talking about evolution. There is an autodidact in the truest sense, but he has earned his place at the table. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to be an autodidact, you have to prove your bona fides. And again, I just want to amplify the point. If you don't know anything about a subject, then it's easy to pretend you do. And I think that some of these people are actually being honest because they just don't have the background knowledge to understand how much they don't know. And that sounds like a slam, but it really isn't. And anyone who's been to college understands exactly what I'm saying.
No, you're right. No, they don't know what they don't know. I mean, they literally think that what most people would learn in like the first year of college, they think it's PhD level.
I mean, it's some of the stuff that we went over with Gman. I mean, it's not really real hard stuff, but it's stuff that he could have looked up on his own. Like the conversation, I have a video called A Chat with Spoken. Everything that I brought up, I literally pulled up 5 minutes before we had that discussion. Like it's readily available, but they don't feel that they should have to learn any of that. It's just like when True wants to approach a topic, and I tell people he doesn't have a comprehensive understanding of biology. Because if you say he doesn't know anything about biology, G-Man latches onto that. And I had to teach G-Man what the word hyperbole means the other fucking day, and he still didn't fucking get it. But you know, it's hard because I can say, you know, I took genetics last semester. I can tell you right now, I still know dick all about genetics. Like, to be completely honest with you, like.
Well, I mean, Drag. I mean, for example, I mean, like Sam put his advisor's evaluation up for everybody to see, which I thought was very, very cool and brave of them. And, you know, it says in there, you know, Sam's come a long way, but it still has a long way to learn. He's already at in his PhD program, but still has a long way to go. I think Sam would agree with that. I think anybody who's in an academic field that in an advanced program realizes they always have a long ways to go. There's always so much more that they don't know than they do know for the most part, right? And so they don't get that, right? They don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that G-Man really comprehends. There's something about his ability appraisal tool that's broken or just non-existent. I don't know which one. It's really hard to tell because if I were to say, you know what, PC Myers is, you know, leagues and bounds beyond me as far as his skill in, you know, evolutionary biology. That's hero worship according to G-Man. These are his words now, not mine. That's hero worship. If I say, you know what, MP, chess grandmaster, he probably fucking smoked the balls out of me, you know, in chess. That's hero worship. That's, you know, and to me and for every other fucking normal person in the world, that's us acknowledging their skill level, and that's it, you know. But there's some weird fucking thing that goes on.
Whenever this fool talks about how good he is at marathon running, that's hero worship. Like,
I don't know. It doesn't apply to him though. I'm not sure how to explain it. His appraisal tool doesn't work when you're talking about him and his abilities. It works when you're talking about him and something that he's not already, well, he doesn't feel that he's mastered, right? So I don't understand how it really works or how it's like reciprocated, but it's so strange. And so I think JD and I like briefly, and MP and I, we kind of talked about it. It's like it's odd because I've never in my life, in my almost 30 years of living, have never run across someone who thinks like that. Because it seems damaging.
I think G-Man is just emotionally stunted.
That could be it.
He does. I mean, he, like you said, you had to explain to him hyperbole. He doesn't understand these concepts.
No, he had no clue what a hyperbole is whatsoever. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, he literally is on a emotional child's level, and I think you have to approach him that way. I know I think he actually believes some of the stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think he actually believes that he like owned
Oh yeah.
Casey Myers. I don't think
Oh
he's
yeah. Oh
lying
yeah.
in that regard. Okay, so
No,
let
no,
me clarify that.
he wholeheartedly believes that, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't even tell him differently. I was like, well, you know, because he's convinced that he did. Like, and
Sure, sure.
you know, I
But
messaged
you
my
just want
Skype
to
for
pat
that.
him. But that's when you just want to pat him on the head. You know, give him a little lollipop and say, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good girl? We'll play in the corner. You know,
But
go sit at the kitty table."
but for those of you who have my personal number, have me on Facebook, and we have these conversations, it's a weird kind of position you get put in because he's saying very slanderous things about folks and just misrepresenting folks left and right and just being kind of obnoxious. But then you do realize that he has the mentality of a 12-year-old boy. So you really,
That's why it's hard to take him seriously on when he does that. I mean, like he accused me of sniping. You think I'm gonna go have a hangout now, going, "Oh my God, G-Man said I was sniping," or you know, come on. No, I know where the source is, right? I know where it's coming from. Nobody's gonna ever take G-Man seriously. Matter of fact, G-Man could come out and say, "You know what? I have absolute evidence. You know, God has even told me that Steve sniped my hangout." Nobody in this community is going to believe him. I have a feeling. I mean, because we believe in evidence, right? We believe in some kind of evidence when it comes to these types of claims. If somebody said, you know what, hey, you know, Dragnaut went around and he started sniping G-Man's hangout, I'd be like, fuck that. I don't believe that until you show me convincing evidence. Otherwise, I'm not going to say I lack a belief, right? I'm not going to go, hey, you know what, I lack a belief in Dragnaut doing that. No, I'm going to stay straight out. I know Dragnaut's personality. I know he would never do such a thing. I believe that did not happen. You want to convince me otherwise? Show me the evidence. But G-Man's not like that.
no,
right?
G-Man doesn't work from the basis of if you have evidence, we'll change mind. Like there is that notion does not exist for him. It is,
No.
you know, I have a notion. Let me find evidence for it.
Well, for his methodology though, like his own anecdotal evidence is fucking sufficient enough for him to hold a notion up to par with reality. I mean,
Are you saying that he's justified in his beliefs?
Let me give you a specific example. Like he had surgery. Remember he had surgery and like he could navigate in the dark with his nipples like cats can for some weird,
I remember.
bizarre ass reason.
Yeah,
I remember him saying that in the Nadia hangout. It was funny as fuck.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
What about
I mean, or his fucking like $3,000 in a safe argument for answered prayer.
oh God, please don't bring that back up.
Well, all these things go to a pattern, right? I mean, these things establish one's credibility in these things, right? And when he has used all these shitty ass arguments, I don't think he has any argument he could put forth nowadays that anybody would really even bother to evaluate. For example, like I had an argument the other day that I put up for evaluation. The doctor actually kind of helped me name it. It was Steve's, I don't remember what the hell I named it. Steve's equivalency argument. And I wanted to get some feedback on it because the doctor actually said my analogies seem really good. If somebody destroys that argument, I'll be like, okay, you know, fair enough, right? I want to. That's what we do. We run arguments by each other. But when he has a bad argument, he never fucking lets it go. He will run it to the day he dies, probably, even though it's a shitty fucking argument.
No, but G-Man, I'm done with the safe now. But the fact is, you did steal a safe. You gotta turn yourself in so they can rape you in the booty.
I don't think I don't think the safe ever existed myself. I tend not to believe that the safe never existed. But whatever.
I mean, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, but it's funny to troll him on it because like he says here's his mindset. Here's another thing that this fucker does. He says he says and does dumb shit in the heat of the moment. And then he gets mad and blames other people when it's really like his own poor judgment that gets him in there in the first place. It's like,
yeah. Well, okay, for example, for like example, I mean, this whole conversation started off today when we first went on air, or maybe it was a few minutes before. I don't remember. But Dragnaut had said that G-Man was upset that he was invited to my room and then kind of, you know, wasn't able to carry on a conversation with PZ or got piled upon or whatever. I have no idea what he expected. It was not an invitation to have a one-on-one with anybody. It was just an invitation like I give to anybody else. My rooms are open. He doesn't get special treatment. But since he came in and he wanted to talk to PZ, we're like, okay, fine. he didn't understand what PZ was saying because he, again, not actively listening. And then he makes a video about it because he's so butthurt, thinking that he somehow showed PZ to be wrong in what he was saying, when the rest of us, right, any one of us know that PZ wasn't wrong. But of course, in his mind's eye, he thinks PZ was mine. It was wrong, and he's going to run with that forever. And you can't ever convince him otherwise. You just can't. He's latched onto something that he thinks is right. It was a shitty argument, like all his other shitty arguments. He's never going to let it go. But anybody who knows anything about anything will look at it and go, "Yeah, G-Man, you're just an idiot." Even Sarah Rodriguez in one of the comments pointed out exactly why G-Man was wrong. She made it in like 3 sentences. G-Man, chromosomal number has nothing to do with evolution per se. It's not an argument for evolution. It's the fact that the chromosome number has changed by the way of a fusion.
And that's
right?
what I wanted to talk to him about. And I tried to pry that out of him last night to save him some type of embarrassment, but he felt justified that, well, atheists use chromosomes for evolution. Well, what the fuck does that? I said, G-Man, what does that mean? And he couldn't tell me.
Yeah, I don't even know what that would mean either.
I don't know. That's like that statement means nothing to me. And so
he needs to follow that up by somehow by how they use chromosomes.
Again, there we go with the precision and the accuracy. Like he does not care for that, and it's painfully obvious. It's like, dude,
I mean, does he even know what a chromosome is?
No,
he thinks chromosomes can be negative. You have a negative chromosome count. Yeah, latched your mind around that one. Come on.
Yeah, I try. Me and Fiona and Redline and several others tried to teach him something in the museum. We really tried, and some of it stuck, some of it didn't, and it seems like he somehow acquired like I don't know what negative information would be. Like how would you acquire sensory input and it would make you dumber? However you do that, however that process works, he did it.
Gift. It's a talent.
Yeah,
well, yeah, but that's the reason why he thinks Hovind is so great. Hovind said one time that you could build a whole genome of a human from a single chromosome.
What?
That's retarded.
It's retarded to us, but to his audience, they lapped it up like it was, oh, that's amazing. God's
what was the source? But did he say, maybe there's something I don't know about?
No, this is in a video. This is in one of his videos. He actually says it's so amazing that you could actually build an entire human from a single chromosome.
How do you make $1 out of 15 cents?
And this is the guy that G-Man it puts up as a go-to science guy, which, by the way, he's advocating a little bit more than even Ronnie now. I mean, that's weird. He used to be like, oh, Ronnie this, Ronnie that. Now it's Ken Hovind. Which, by the way, did you guys notice Ronnie's video touting the majesty of Ken Hovind, and yet he spelled his name wrong in the title, and then every time he talked about him, he calls him Ken Hovind.
Well, we know with Ronnie and communication.
I'm sorry, Veronica. Sorry, my bad. I don't want to trigger anybody.
You're being racially insensitive. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm so sorry.
Mexican. He's Native American and Mexican. That means with his accent, it's hard for him to pronounce words.
That's bullshit. I just had a fucking Mexican dude come in and install my fucking Comcast. Spoke better English than Ronnie.
Hovind. How do you get Hovind out of Hovind? And again, it's not like he just mispronounced it. He wrote it that way in his title. I have a screenshot. He went back and changed it.
He went to Chicago high school. Okay, he doesn't know how to speak English good.
But there's a pattern here. G-Man calls Dr. Myers Dr. Meyer. Throughout his whole video, it's PZ Myers. It's like, no, it's PZ Myers. There's an S on it, dude.
I told him all this yesterday. I'm telling you, in the conversation, I had him on speakerphone in front of my wife, and he's just making all these fucking gaffes. And I'm like, dude, just like, you need to just calm down. Let's take it from the top, statement by statement. Didn't want to do that. He just wanted to go ass first and make these dumbass videos and make an ass of himself, and then get upset when people laugh at him again. Like, I don't understand.
PZ Myers, SIC, right? I'm mispronouncing it on purpose. Yeah, just because he got world records in math, it's like, what? What the fuck is he talking about? PZ was like, I don't understand this.
I actually got that. I actually got the link up for that Ronnie video. You guys want to see it, or you just
which video is this?
It's the Atheist Experience one, like the latest episode.
Oh, I don't want to watch it again. I've seen it a couple times.
I don't know. I'm probably going to bring this to a close within the next 10 minutes, next 10, 15 minutes, because
I was going to have a hangout later on, so maybe we can do it then.
Oh yeah, do it in a few hours. 'Cause I'm actually going to go up to the college that I'm going to be going to, since my cousin's a police officer there, and I'm going to play Pokemon Go and see where my classes are. And
do you guys want to hang out in about 90 minutes? I was going to have them on about 2. Can I ask your live chat if they want to join?
90 minutes, 120 minutes, somewhere around there, because it's going to take me a while to beat some of these gyms. I mean, it's right around the corner, but.
Well, I mean, I've been starting at 2. You can join any time. I mean, you want me to wait for you? I would be happy to wait for you. You know I will. I'll wait forever for you, man. I'll wait for you.
Oh.
We have a good bromance.
I mean, it's up to you.
You would have had so much fun with Ruhif and I, dude. We have a good bromance. I like Ruhif. He is one of the nicest guys. Oh, we had fun. He's just awesome to talk to. Just smart as shit. Funny.
You said he was buying the drinks, so that's the quickest way to my heart right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he did. He bought 2 rounds. I bought him an energy drink and coffee, but yeah, he is just a nice guy.
I got no messages from you. Who is that? Uncle Sam Thicky. You didn't send me any messages, man. I don't know if you got me confused with somebody else, but I'm looking at Skype. The last people who have spoken to me is Preaching Sean, Arnraw, and Gman.
Yeah. I wonder if Aaron saw that little thing about Gman not knowing really who PZ was.
Oh, I sent Aaron a video.
Did you? Yeah. Well, PZ's in a group now. There's a group that that I invited you to, by the way, and Thomas had asked me, he's like, who is this guy? And I'm like, oh, it's Dragnot. Oh, okay. And I was like, well, Dragnot invites me to a whole his black atheist thing, so I felt like I had to reciprocate and get you in this really cool group that I'm in now.
Sorry for inviting me to that, because I recently had to remove myself because they're fucking stupid. But that's another story.
I saw some of the things people wrote in that. I was like, wow. Okay.
Jeez, they're fucking dumb.
Oh, fucking dumb. But I like this little new thing that Thomas has started. It has a purpose, strictly dealing with YouTube's videos and how to get subscribers and to help each other out. And I thought it was pretty cool. So
Yeah, I've been trying to clean up my groups list, so I know I might have left it. I don't know. We'll see. But on that note, folks, go watch Gman's videos. They're pretty fucking funny. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. On that note, Comcast fucking guy again, 5th fucking time. So I'm going to be making some more videos later, folks, especially my Patreons. Thank you. Send me messages for the content you want. I will catch you guys later.